All for you, I'm down and diligent. Just know I'm down and diligent. I'm down and diligent. Ay, mama always working late. Daddy didn't work today. I got all these bills to pay, and I'm not even thinking straight. Probably twisting up a wood, trying to see what's up today. I've been engineering all my music, feeling all type of way. Drowning in my thoughts, I might get lost up in this tidal wave. Maybe I'm just tired of Seattle, I need brighter day. I get way too high, I lose my mind, I'm thinking all type of shit. Look you in your eyes, I see a star, son, your future lit. Smiling at your mama, all in love, that's my type of chick.
Yo, what's good, man? Y'all tapped into another dope episode of the D.A.D podcast, known as the Down and Diligent podcast, because y'all know what we do, man. We stay down and diligent for the cause. You feel me? It's just me today, man. You know what I'm saying? Host, co-host, Dez, Joey, they not here today. Like they said, they forgot the milk, man. The dads forgot the milk. They left me 2 weeks ago, man. Them dudes ain't came back, but it's tax time, too, so I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody got their
Nah, I just playing, man. You know, but they busy, man. They doing their things. You know, sports season around this time, man, they got dads in the chokehold. So I definitely understand dads doing this thing with the kids as well, working, grinding. So, you know what I'm saying? Stay down and diligent, man. I want to shout out everybody, man. Y'all gonna like, subscribe, comment, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Subscribers been going up. Engagement been going up as well. Y'all going and purchase some of this merch too as well, man. You know, we got the hats, we got the t-shirts as well. Hoodies coming soon, more hats on the way, different colors, different sizes. Y'all just get at us, man. But small introduction, man. I got a real special guest up in here today, man. Somebody that's made it out the trenches, man. That's worth bragging for, especially us young black men coming from LA County. You know, this brother, he comes from a notorious section of South Central. You know, I'm gonna let him get into all of that, but he does do community work, and council meetings, engaging with the youth, trying to show them better ways. You know, he is a living example. What I would say, I ran across this brother content on YouTube. You know, and then I just followed him on Instagram, and it's been we were supposed to make this happen. A little time ago, but it happened. You know, we here, man. I would just want to thank you for being a man of your word.
All right,
Coming through, bro. We got Fezo the Great up in here, man. Shout out Fezo, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate you giving me that shout out.
Oh, man, most definitely. We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes,
it's
sir.
important. It's a lot of us, them hidden gems up in our community that don't be seen sometimes, you know. But
I'm glad you mentioned hidden gems because whenever I say something on Instagram, I try to put out a lost thought.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes we forget to say stuff. And I try to look at a situation and bring up something that ain't nobody ever brought up. That's how I've been getting popular on Instagram. I know that you got a minute and 30 seconds to say it. So I try to bring up something to put a thought inside somebody's head to make them stop or at least to think about what the situation that they're going to put themselves in.
right.
Yeah.
That's powerful, bro.
Yeah.
How long you been doing the content?
Probably about less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yeah.
You just kind of blowing up like that, start
Yeah.
going viral on certain videos.
Yeah. I mean, I start talking about stuff that everybody going through, but that we scared to say it.
Yeah.
Once you start saying things that people scared to say, you know, because once you say that you trying to push for an understanding and everybody getting along, your friends where you come from, they're not gonna think that you cool. They're gonna start to disagree with you because they really believe in what they doing.
Right.
Now, you ever see me bring up the Willie Lynch letter?
I did see that video.
That's a whole part of our brainwashed. If you ever read through that, you're gonna see that's why we think the way we do. That's why our moms act the way they act. That's why everybody do the things they do when they, you know, like when they, the way we act is the way that we've been trained to act. But everybody don't know that, so they get mad when they hear you or you saying, like say if you was gangbanging for 20 years, they love you, you go to jail 30 times, you just doing whatever you could, they gonna love you. You can go out of jail and come home and be known as a rider. But once you say that you want everybody to get along and you tired of seeing that stuff happen, they gonna look at you like an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the road took, all right, it's just like, it hurts to be unbrainwashed. I got unbrainwashed because I read a lot of books like Black Labor, White Wealth. I read The Magic of Thinking Big, The Power of Concentration. I read a lot of books, and it turned me, like into thinking, being conscious.
Right.
And everybody out there not conscious. The majority of gangbangers are little kids. They never been through nothing. So you start off, and it's like anybody, it's easy to go get a lot of kids who ain't been through nothing to do what you say. I'm gonna explain to you one way that I know that we run scandalous game. I used to hit a gang of like licks back in the day. I'm not gonna say what I did it to, but the way that I did it was I didn't want nobody who been in jail.
When you say back in the day, how far are we talking about?
10 years ago, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to commit crimes, and like every day, that's how I made money. Every day I didn't want to work. I was just like these same young dudes. I was known for making money on the streets.
Straight up.
All right, so I go get a crew of people to make money. But what I didn't know was I was getting people kids that was under 18 because I knew that they didn't know about the results of the crimes that they doing. Like I didn't tell them that if they get caught, this was gonna happen to them. I say, this was gonna happen to you if you get caught. It's nothing. I'm lying. I'm putting a lot of people's lives at risk and without telling their parents. That was wrong. You know what I'm saying? When you really think about it, because if I come tell you about a crime, I better tell you the truth because you grown. If it wasn't the truth, you're gonna be mad at me for saying that because you're gonna be like, man, you didn't tell me this.
Right.
We do that to a lot of our kids. And they get in situations, and that's why they be telling, because we done told them, hey, go do this or go do that. And then when they go do it and they get caught, we mad they told.
Yeah.
But we didn't sit there and explain to them and show them exactly what's gonna happen to them when they get caught.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what they need to do to these kids. Explain to them what's gonna happen to them when they get caught. And then we can change a lot of lives. Like a lot of these kids right now, the music is having us thinking that we tough. The Willie Lynch letter got us thinking we tough. And look, I was so brainwashed that I lost a lot of friends thinking I was tough, trying to bully them or punk them or talk shit, and didn't understand what they was going through. Every member on the streets is bullies. And I'm not talking about nobody in particular, but I'm just saying it's in our characteristics to be a bully. When you ride around the street and you put somebody on your hood and they say that they don't want to get put on, you bullying them.
For sure.
Sure.
So how long did it take for you? Well, matter of fact, I want to take it back a little bit.
Okay.
I just want to take it back. Tell me what it was like growing up in South Central at this time. You talked about, recruiting the younger guys to go on these missions, but a lot of them, they don't know, right?
Yeah.
So they get into a lot of trouble, and now they forced to handle certain situations that they wasn't prepared for, right?
Yes, sir.
So with you coming up at this time, what was it like for you being in your household structure?
Okay, let's say it was a guy that stayed around the corner from us. This is how I got the game. He came and got me and my cousin. He took us to go commit a crime. So after we committed the crime, we went in an abandoned house to count the money up. He had somebody come around the back and rob us. But we so young, we didn't think it was him. It took me 15 years later to realize that he played me. He got life now, you know what I'm saying, for doing somebody else like that. Well, I got that type of idea on making people make money for me. So I started, growing up in my area, my mom, she from Belize. We used to get bullied, and they used to call us like the Dookie, they used to talk smack about us because we were some Belizean people, and we lived in L.A.
And
All
that's
right.
a big thing in LA with Belizean people too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we end up getting put on just to control the area and us being clown. My mom didn't buy us clothes. So we end up committing crimes because we was getting bagged on when we went to school. All right, so I got a brother named Alberto, he paralyzed. I got 3 other brothers that got life for murder. I don't know if they did or not, but they in jail for murder. You know what I'm saying? I got another brother that do drugs on the streets and another sister. So I would say that my family, and they was all gang members. So my family was like the number one example of what would happen to you if you let you and your whole family be involved in gangs.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember a few years ago, before my brothers got life, we sat up in the house and they said, at least none of us got life, but they wasn't done. So when I went to jail for 5 years, I got out, my whole house was gone, my mom lost it, and all them brothers had life in jail.
Damn.
So yeah, I was just out there with my brothers and they was gone. So I believed all the way until I had to go fight the case myself and get out. That's when I knew that everything I did was for nothing. Like it's fake love. And the reason you get some real people that love you out there, but the reason I say it's fake love is because every little kid want to make money. So when you start putting them up on crimes that can help them make money, of course they're going to follow you around. And then when they get grown, they're going to get a job and they're going to realize that that was a waste of their time.
I like how you put that too.
Yeah.
Because
So
we don't see it like that. But like you said, you dissected that, and it's fake love, but to an extent, it's all for their game at the end of the day.
that's it.
Yeah, man.
Just for their game.
So seeing your brothers, right? Well, you was incarcerated
Yeah.
at the time where they all went down.
Yeah. When I got out, my mom lost the house and everybody was in jail.
Damn, bro.
So it happens that fast.
Damn. So what do you think could have been the change or the changing point of, you know what I'm saying, all the boys in the house and going down that road? Where did it start going wrong at, would you say?
Well, now that I'm older, I know it's because we didn't have a dad. So we had a stepfather who did drugs. All right, so my mom let us hang around people who did drugs. And they was our uncles and stuff like that, but all of them was bums. So if you got your kid, all right, it's like this. If you got nobody inside your family that's a policeman, ain't none of y'all gonna be a police. You hear everybody saying F the police, but you need to get your kids inside that type of government or get them a type of job. Like,
Right.
if you have no kids that's senators or in government, then of course y'all gonna miss out on what's going on. I went to a community meeting and I heard they had the city council or the people in there, and they talk about how they can make the community better. A lot of these gang members need to be sending their kids up in there to learn how to be inside that type of establishment.
Sure.
So that we can know what's going on. We got a lot of people in jail for life who was young when they went to jail. And man, nobody know what they doing when they commit them crimes.
Mm-hmm.
They little bitty kids. Right. And they know that we brainwashed and we doing that because it's the system that they put out there for us. That's not a system we got. If it was, after 400 years of slavery, they let us go broke. And then they got all these commercials showing us about clothes and we want cars, but our parents don't have the money to give it to us. Why is we wanting that under 18?
Right.
We shouldn't want that. That's putting a heartache, like my son right now. I have a good talk with him all the time, but he got to get the new Jordans. When you grow up in a house where you don't have that and they giving your mother $500 county check, that ain't enough to buy your kids and send your kids to school the way they want to. That's a part of the system that make us go commit crimes. You know, like you get the oldest one, he see his brothers getting bullied or people talk about him, then he want to go commit crimes or do whatever he got to do to make his brothers and them look better. Now, the same system that they had out there when they came and they made us slaves and they put us under control for so many years and they put themselves, imagine having 400 years to be on top of the people that you controlling.
Man.
That's a lot of money that they got to stack up.
Yeah, for sure.
The ones who broke is the ones who just who abuse the drugs, and they shouldn't be broke.
Right.
They should all be rich, but a lot of people made mistakes. We never had that chance. Now, as we getting our chance to advance, a lot of us broke, and we don't know nobody that's prominent in our area because every time you get prominent, they look at you like you weak. The minute you say, "Hey, I don't gangbang no more," everybody else gonna look at you like you're a buster.
Right.
But you really not a buster. You just tired.
Right.
Like nobody want to be controlled their whole life. You gotta live your life for yourself.
Right. For sure.
One more thing: the majority of these gangbangers, if you look online, when they get about 40 or 50 or 30 and older, they stop going out there and tripping on their enemies. They know that it's just the little kids doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they blind when they doing it, they're not doing it because they know nobody in particular that they got beef with. As soon as you get put on, you start saying, fuck them niggas, they my enemies. Because these dudes told you that they was their enemy. But these dudes in jail, sitting down, having conversations with the same dudes you going out there and shooting.
For sure. For sure.
The kids need to know that.
Systematically, it's just, it's taught to us, but it's taught to us, it's fed to us the wrong way. Like you said, and it's ironic, right? Because just because we're taught that we grew up or we live in this area that we got to dislike or have a strong disdain, hate these dudes from over here,
Like this. Imagine this. And I know everybody noticed this. So I went to 52nd Street School in John Muir. When I went to 52nd Street School or John Muir, I met a gang of 5'5s. I got a gang of 40s. I met a gang of people around me that didn't gangbang at first, and we was friends. The minute one of them got put on a gang, they started looking at the dude who they went to school with, and he was their enemy. But they didn't know why that they was their enemy. They just knew that they was their enemy. So they start automatically. That's being brainwashed into believing that the people you grew up with is the people you don't get along with.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's fake.
For sure. And the men that's leading, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of homies, a lot of people, you know, that have kids and they kids wind up being from the hood or whatever, but they didn't encourage that. You know, just naturally some homies might have got a hold of their child or whatnot, or they might not have been there. They might have been locked up.
If you don't, and that's a lot of times it happens when you get locked up. But if you don't encourage it and you participate in it, your kid can't do nothing but follow behind you. That's something that's like I can go around and say, you better not gangbang, but you are.
They looking at you.
Yeah,
They
but
seeing
you are.
every day. They seeing you do it.
You got to change your whole character if you want to get about the system.
Right, most definitely, most definitely. I was just talking to my son before we came in, and I was telling him, smart men, they learn from their mistakes and they pass, and they do better. But a wise man, bro, you learn from others. You learn from their mistakes. So when you see the things that I have done, or where I might have been 10 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, or whatever the case was, you see those things, you learn from it, of how I may have fell from that or whatnot, but you don't just indulge in it and think that, oh, I could just beat the odds and just do this and that.
Yeah.
So can you talk to me about the importance of having that one-on-one with a father, which you been a father of 6 children?
Yeah.
Which you been a father of 6, having them conversations that'll probably ignite their fire and lead a long way. And did you have those conversations with your father?
I never had a conversation with nobody that told me gangbanging was wrong. Like, my stepfather claimed a gang and he did drugs. And then he probably didn't have the knowledge to tell me what I was and what I wasn't supposed to do, because once you on them drugs, your mind gone. All right, so we in a system right now of people watching their parents get high. They start getting high, but then they blaming their parents for getting high. You get me?
Yeah.
So say this. If you blaming your parents for getting high, but you shady below key snorting lines in the room, your parents is too embarrassed to really tell you about your life. That's a system like the Great War they had in China over drugs. Yeah.
That's a fact.
So now you ain't gonna take your parents seriously because they getting high and you getting high. And look, a lot of the time when you young, it takes the drugs about 10 to 20 years to take over your body fully. So if your parents are there getting high and they fiending because it's addictive, it took me about 25 years to get unbrainwashed. That's how long that lasts. I've been in jail, I don't know how many times. Nah, just unbrainwashed into seeing what's going on.
Oh, yeah. It's going to take time in that growth.
It took me about 15 years to get off a drug, popping E-pills. It started off with the E-pills. I don't even think people should smoke weed, because once you smoke weed, it's going to lead you to another drug, and it's going to keep leading you down. All right, like, if you notice in all them movies how they show you, they starting to show everybody smoking weed, and they showing you snorting lines. The kids doing it. We should be able to, I think that certain, I think there should be lawsuits on all these platforms that's showing you that doing drugs is cool, that's showing the kids that's doing drugs is cool, because we don't believe in nobody, but we believe in what we see on TV. They made a movie called License to Drive. And when we looked at it growing up, we thought we had to have license to drive. But in reality, you don't need license, you just gotta know the law. So they shouldn't be throwing out lies like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever we see on TV, we copying. And how many TVs do you see them snorting lines? Or smoking weed, or drinking? And everyone, they promoting drinks.
Yeah.
But all that's really bad for your life.
Yeah. Straight up. That's true. I agree with that, man.
All right, but the importance of a dad is this. I got to talk to my son from 2 years old all the way up. And I got to point out to him why everything is bad. I rode down the street with him. I jumped out of a tent. You ever see when I put on Instagram, I say, I just ran into a tent, and it was 5 gangbangers, and all of them gangbang.
I don't think I've seen that one.
All right, if you look at
pull it up. Can we pull that up, Solomon?
No, but it's on Instagram.
Yeah, he could pull it up.
All right. It's probably in the first 3 I got pinned.
Okay, for sure.
I really jumped on the 10 on Figueroa, and then I hopped out and I looked in there and I said, hey, where y'all from? Just playing. All of them in there game banged. So if you living a life where you doing drugs and you're not educating yourself properly, when you get 25 years later, you're not gonna be able to take care of your parents. You never had a real job. You've been running the streets selling dope, and your record gonna get so messed up to where selling dope ain't gonna be good for you. You get scared and scared the more you get older.
Right.
All y'all kids out there committing crimes only doing it because y'all haven't got caught enough.
Straight up.
By the time y'all get 40, y'all gonna get caught enough for y'all to quit. And that's gonna be when you gotta take care of your parents and take care of your family.
Straight up.
My mom was homeless. If I didn't get my head together, she'd still be homeless.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like we gotta think about our years 10 or 20 years from the time we young. A lot of kids not thinking like that.
No, that's for sure. But that's something that gotta be definitely talked about and something that's pressed on them kids too, because you're not thinking about that at that age, just like reading.
Yeah.
You know, that knowledge is in them books, but that's something that got to be pressed as well.
My mother used to make us go outside and fight because she wanted us to be tough. I see the same thing with my girl. She telling my son, when I got out of jail, she had my son fighting everybody because he was big. Man, I went outside. I told him, man, stop fighting these dudes. I got on his head. I'm like, that's somebody's kid. If you hit that little kid, his dad might come over here and kill us. So I'm not going to promote you beating up nobody. I'm going to promote you getting yourself together, protect yourself. But you shouldn't be teaching your kids to go out there and fight nobody kids.
Right.
That's why my brother's in jail right now, because my mom taught them how to fight and be tough. If you a dad, you ain't finna teach your kid. You gonna teach your kid to protect yourself.
Right.
You're not finna teach your kids to be tough.
Right.
In 1970-something, President Carter, when they came out with the county, they did that because they wanted to take the rights of all the dads. So they giving our mothers backing by giving them that little bit of money. Mm-hmm. But they giving them houses as long as the dad can't be there.
Right.
We need dads in our life.
Most definitely.
Yeah, like I'm there. If anything happened to my kids, I'm there to talk to them. Not to support them being bad, but to at least give them advice on ways that they don't need to be. Like, all right, when I pulled up and showed him about all them people inside those tents, I knew one of them. That's why I went there. You know what I'm saying? And when I went there, one of them dudes was my boys. All right, so look, here, tell him he got to slide over a little bit. Like press the, all right, right there. It's at 173K, that video right there. Yeah. I wasn't lying on there. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. I jumped out right there and I asked them where they was from. All of them gang banged. See, so listen, so if you got a gang of little kids who don't know what they doing and they gang banging, a few of them gonna make it because they real hustlers. But the ones who try drugs, you gonna be out of there in 20 years. Man, like my brother was the toughest brother ever. And I seen him pushing a cart out there riding with a girl who I mean, like, I blessed that lady too though, but she didn't let nobody know. I mean, like when you was growing up, you know how you look at the people and you be like, ugh.
Yeah.
I seen my brother turn into that. And his girlfriends turned into that. And my sister turned into that.
What was that feeling like, seeing that?
It hurt. It hurt me so much that I don't want to touch no drugs. I don't want to do nothing bad. I don't want my kids to go through the same thing.
Straight up.
Like, it hurt, man. Like, then to see them argue and try to steal from you when you just trying to hold them. Like, just say I got a house and I put them all in it. They lost the house. And then they still doing drugs. They beating the house up. Like, man, them drugs is crazy. That, like, your family turned into demons.
Right.
And it don't be the same people you grew up with.
Right.
We don't need our kids to turn into demons.
Most definitely.
And having a dad inside your life who don't do drugs and who out there who pushing for you to just get ahead. Your dad is the only person in your life that wants you to succeed. Now, your mom wants you to succeed, but they look, they pushing for the same thing. They just don't know how to be the dad. The dad gonna keep you out of trouble. The dad is gonna make sure that you understand. I let my kids meet my homeboy that was in that tent so he can tell them what his life was like, how he started doing drugs, because a homie passed him some drugs. The dude who started him doing drugs is smoked out now. But he had money when he was doing drugs. You couldn't tell he was gonna be smoked out.
Right.
So when they giving your kids these drugs, they don't even know who they are. You see a 45-year-old man that got his life together, he ain't finna pass no kids no drugs. Only a kid gonna pass the kid drugs.
Most definitely.
That's how important the dad is.
Most
The
definitely.
dad gonna step up and explain to you why you should not be, and then show you why you shouldn't be in that situation.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I also want to touch on too. You talked about like pretty much de-escalating certain things. Like moms had us going out there to fight. You ain't gonna put that in your child head that you gotta fight to for us to come up with some kind of common solution, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk about like just your role in like your perception of de-escalating things and your growth in it? Because obviously you didn't grow up with this, knowing this,
Yeah.
but you grew. Was it prison that transformed your mind to thinking differently, or what?
It was the books I read in prisons, and then the situations that I was in. But the books that I read helped me. All right, like say I was addicted to committing crimes. I was I was on the Channel 5 News, the cigarette bandit of Glendale. I was committing crimes, and I was addicted to it to where I couldn't stop because I didn't know nothing else. You get what I'm saying? Now I got a job. I've been working every day for the past, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to work every day and I'm getting somewhere.
Right.
All right, so my credit is good enough to where I can go get cars and do whatever I want to do. When I was young, I didn't even have no credit. I thought that I never was gonna need it. That's the brainwash we had. We think we got all I gotta do is hit a lick.
Money.
Yeah, but as soon as you don't even need to hit no lick them, you just need a job and you need check stubs.
Man.
Yeah, that's it.
Straight up.
So I want the kids to know that if y'all do get a job and get checked, you get the best car you could.
Straight up.
All my kids got good cars. All of them doing good. They working. But my mom kids, they didn't end up like that because she started messing with somebody who do drugs. And he was a good dude. My stepfather loved us to death, but he did drugs, and it put him in a predicament where he couldn't teach us because we didn't respect him. See, you got to respect your kid or respect your dad. You can't see their mistakes. So you got to I erased all my mistakes so I could talk to him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to make no mistakes. I just want them to understand exactly why they shouldn't do that. In order for me to do that, I stopped doing everything. You know?
Yeah, I got to take on that. My thing, you know, it's not necessarily not letting my children see my mistakes. I feel like that's an important part of my life and theirs too. But I think that me surrendering and being submissive to when I do fail or make a mistake and not correct it, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's kind of like, all right, that's different.
All right, when I say mistakes, this is what I mean. If you addicted to drugs, your kid's up in the room. All right, look, my kid looking at me. I'm in the room in the kitchen in the bathroom a couple years ago. I'm snorting line. He don't know what I'm doing. He like, this ain't daddy. I'm coming out there and I'm talking, and he looking at me because he knows that that's not me. Like he know it's me, but it's not me because it's somebody else. I'm hiding from him all the time. I don't got the heart to tell him what to do because I think he gonna look in my eyes and know I did drugs. So when I say the mistakes, I mean the drug mistakes, not the mistakes of what you've been through.
Right.
He need to know that.
Right.
Like my son need to know that I was a gang member. He need to know that everything that I went through, but I didn't want him to see me on drugs.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so because I didn't respect my stepfather because he was on drugs.
Yeah.
I loved him, but I didn't respect him.
Right. I want to take it back a little bit to where you was where you mentioned jobs, you know, and working. And that's something that's real critical. You feel me? I feel like, especially with young dudes,
Yeah.
you young, you could have a job or you have a skill. It's kind of like a cheat code, right? You getting paid every week or every other week or however you get paid. You got steady income coming in as a young dude, especially if you ain't really got no bills to pay, right? Then you got other dudes who stuck with the hood mentality that don't even know they're capable to do it because they wasn't taught these things. But how do you feel about the ones that's leading them and not showing them, the ones that is going to work and still deciding, let me put a pack up in my young boy's hand or put them on the lick or something like that so I could gain from that and, you know what I'm saying, and still put them in these fucked up situations. But they have everything to gain for it. But these lost souls out here, they don't really know. They thinking, oh, this out of love. This homie is giving me love. He putting me up on this. I feel like the ones that's putting them up on it is more of the problem than the ones that's feeding it to them.
You're right. Because look, it's like this. You ain't gonna but the ones that do it to their kids don't know what they're doing. Just point blank period. They don't know what they're doing because if you knew what you was doing, you wouldn't put your kids in that predicament. Now the ones that's doing it to the people who not their kids, they know what they're doing and they wrong because you putting kids in a predicament. Like you can't get a kid, you don't want a kid to be dependent on no money that's not legal. They're gonna keep going for it. That's like you feeding the pelican food and then throwing what you call them those little white pills, throwing them to make them blow up.
Yeah.
And then putting that in their food.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill them.
Right.
Like when you dealing with somebody that's under 18, that's like a puppy. You're gonna have to lead them the right way because everything you're doing, they believing in. And the only thing that's gonna stop them is jail. The only thing that stopped me from believing in them big homies was jail. I went to jail, I'm like, damn, I can't even call them. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you start seeing, then you get out there and just notice everybody, kids, if y'all listening to this, you gotta remember this. Every time a person go to jail, they get out a little bit smarter than hanging around idiots. If you meet one dude that went to jail because of somebody and then got out, he did it again, he's not gonna keep doing that. He gonna stop after he go to jail and come out. Because he gonna know that when he went to jail, wasn't nobody there for him. The police question you, they ain't never been through no questioning. That's why they be telling. So if they doing that, they wrong.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like they hella wrong. You shouldn't be putting no kids in a predicament to where their life gonna be getting took. Like you got 100 years to live. Why waste the youngest years of your life on bullshit?
Most definitely.
Oh, then when they get over 40, you see so many people die. You like, hold on, I might be next. So we start trying to catch up and fix it. We fixing it. We fixing it. But man, like those are mistakes. Like like them real mistakes that you don't need to be making.
Most definitely, man. So, with your journey, you know, on your path of peace, are you pushing the peace within neighborhoods or what? How is that?
I'm pushing the understanding. See, because the peace never works. So I'm pushing the understanding this. They got to understand why they beefing. The majority of times, all these gang beefing over kids. Every dead homie we got is kids. Ain't nobody grown getting killed unless they at a store. So how are we letting kids run our lives? Then the kids keep running our lives. And when you become adult and you realize how endangered you doing to your society, they probably killed more blacks over gangs than they did in slavery. Like when you realize that, you stop. Hold on, you just stop completely. But it's always over kids. Every dead homie I know was kids when they died. Not nobody 30 or 40. It's just kids. So we got to wake up and realize that we leave that stuff in kids' hands. And that's why the rules is getting messed up because the kids don't know how, or it's like this. People scared, the majority of older people scared of the kids. The kids more dangerous because they don't have no rules. Like they got no, what you call that? Like they don't got no conscience, no structure. Right. So a kid will kill you faster than a dog will. And a dog gonna be like, man, I ain't shooting him because I'm gonna get life.
Right.
A kid gonna do it and put himself in a predicament to where he gonna get life because he not thinking about the consequences.
Right.
The same way with that little girl who just died with her dad, the rapper.
Yeah, Lil Ronnie.
When them dudes ran up on and killed him, they was in their feelings. When you an adult, you know, even if a motherfucker robbed me, it ain't worth me going to do this because once I get life, it's over with. Then they put in the black community that we shouldn't call the police on people. I'm not saying I ever did, but why is it the white people get to do it? The Chinese people get to do it. Why is it that we the only race that got to go kill somebody to get respect or get our shit back?
Right.
That's a fake rule they put in here.
Right.
Like in order to keep us going back and forth to jail, we got fake, like say we think that you a snitch because you talking to the public. What if somebody don't want to go to jail and get life? Right. What if that's the only way they can protect their family?
Yeah. I agree with you on that, bro. Do you think that it'll ever come a point in time of our existence that we will see the LA gang culture come to an understanding?
I think it's starting now. It's starting now, but look, I'm gonna tell you what else would need to happen. All these older homies that know that they got to think that if you guys see what happened was all the older people they leave because they tired of putting up with the bullshit, so they get on. if all these older dudes got together and went down to their meetings deep like they would, and everybody was on the same level, they'd be able to stop it. But since we don't have enough older homies to agree and come out the closet because they hiding, people get tired of that shit.
Yeah.
So they like, man, I'm not going around here for that because all it's gonna lead to is this. We know the consequences now. The kids need to know the consequences.
Right.
Once we reach out to the kids and let them know the consequences, that we're not gonna have to worry about that happening to us.
Right.
It's gonna stop.
Okay.
But until then, though, it's gonna be hard.
Let me ask you this: say in a great world that we do get all the OGs from these hoods and they do come to these meetings and they do sit down. Do you think that still that us as men will be able to put our pride and ego aside? And we talked a lot about the young dudes because it's the young dudes that make the hood. We know that.
You're right.
So will they be able to put their pride and ego aside with certain things left in the past or even with women? You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of beef that done started over women. So do you think what do you think would come? Do you think that would be able to happen for the men to put their pride and ego aside? And if so, what do you think will have to transpire for that?
All right. Another way that we messing up is this. We so busy beefing with each other that we can't support black businesses. That we got to go out to a far store to go grocery shopping because if we go to the one by our house, you might get shot. A lot of these black businesses is in local areas where the gangs is, and that was all on purpose too. That's why they put us in these small communities where we compact. If you ever notice, in these small areas, they don't have the walls with ventilation in them. So you can hear your neighbors all day. That's so important. That's there to make us argue with each other. You hear your neighbor arguing all loud. It's not like that in the rich area. They got stuff inside them walls, so when you in a rich area, you can't hear nobody arguing next door. You can hear that in all the poor areas on purpose. So y'all can fight each other, y'all can argue. And once everybody start getting along, you can go to that store on the corner and go shopping. You can go and support your black businesses everywhere. It's a lot of parents that's struggling for their stores to open because they only got the money to open up in black businesses.
Right.
We got to go to white areas. And I'm not saying nothing bad about it, but we got to go to their areas to spend our money. Look where Black Sam had to open up on Melrose. Nipsey tried it in the hood, but you had to go open up on Melrose inside an area that ain't black for you to get peace. We should be able to do that. If we come to an understanding, we'll be able to do that in our area.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And we can't do that right now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you on
LA real quiet about how they act. So the other states, they think LA not with it because LA don't broadcast their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now you might have got a lot of these rappers online right now that's trying to get rich and they saying stuff on these podcasts, but if you say the wrong thing on the internet, these dudes will come do something to you.
Yes,
they really serious about that.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen it on the internet.
Yeah.
On a few occasions. So, but with that being said, what I do want to ask you, your extensive time. How much of your time you spent in prison?
Probably about like 23 years.
23 years of your life.
Yeah, probably more.
Damn. So you had your children and you did go to prison, right? Or you was in and out?
In and out.
Okay.
And this is how I learned. When I got out, my daughters was grown. I'm like, damn, I missed out on a part of their life where I should have been there educating them. And their mom did it, but it was hard for me. I got out and I couldn't do it. But finish your question.
How old were you when you went in? How old were they when you went in?
My daughter was like, I got one of my daughters that was she used to love me to death. Come to the bathroom while I'm shitting. She was like, my baby. When I went to jail when she was probably 11. And I got out when she was 18. And then she wasn't even the same person no more. She was grown. She had her own car. It was hard for me to go kiss her. That was a big importance. That was a lot of good years that I missed.
You went in, that's your baby girl.
When I got out, we was arguing. We get along now, but we didn't really, man, that's a lot of communication. That's a lot of time going. I said, I ain't gonna never do that to no more of my kids.
Yeah, for sure.
You being there every day of their life is important.
Most definitely. Pivotal years, 10 years.
Yeah.
So what was that like seeing her grown as you come home. She driving now. She got this sense of direction of where her life is headed towards.
I was hurt.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her, but I was hurt because I'm like, damn, man, like, I just hope that she don't make no mistakes. But she still looked to me for advice and all that, and she listened. But I was so hurt because she wasn't a baby no more, so she could stand up to me like she was grown. I really couldn't do nothing to her but talk to her.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about your other children, man? How old are your children, if you don't
I
mind?
got a 21-year-old, well, I got a 22-year-old, another 22-year-old boy and a girl, and then I got a 21-year-old. If I got their age wrong, they're gonna be mad. Then I got an 11-year-old, and I got a 5-year-old.
Shout out to all of them, man. And you seem to be a real stand-up dude, real stand-up father that's down and diligent for
Man.
yours, man. So I commend that for sure, bro. But talk to me a little bit about what it was like raising your children, and where did you find the joy at most in being a dad?
When I was young, I used to hit licks every day, so we was paid. That's what it seemed like. But it wasn't substantial. Well, what's the word for something being over the long period?
Sustaining.
Yeah, it wasn't sustainable. We had a lot of money, but every time I went to jail, it went down. All right, so when I got out this last time, I've been trying to catch up. Now, since I got the job, I was able to catch up. Now, if you go to jail back and forth, the last thing you want to be is on the streets and your kids got more money than you. If you go to jail back and forth, you're going to get out and your kids going to have more money than you. I went through that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm barely trying to do right and still earn my respect from them because they looking at me like, man, dad ain't got it like how he used to have it. But that wasn't the right way that I had it.
Right.
I want, like it was hard raising them. And like right now, it's hard to raise them and not having the money that I always had. But I feel good that I don't make them decisions and I got money coming in and I'm able to go to all the events with them and talk to them because I couldn't do none of that while I was in jail.
Real talk.
You just gotta, you gotta show, not just tell them, but show your kids why you don't want them to be involved in that lifestyle.
Most definitely. And you say 2 of your children is college students, correct?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to you. So what's that like, man? Do you do studies with them and everything like that?
No, I don't
interact or engage with them?
When I got out, they was already grown.
Okay.
So I conversate with them, you know what I'm saying, and we talk, but I still I'm really worried about my little kids. Like I'm with them every day and I'm talking to them, but they already doing good. So I'm just working on my 2 little boys right now.
Most definitely, bro. That's what's up. So before we wrap this up, man, do you got any shout outs? Do you want to tell the people? What do you want to tell or let the people know? What message do you want to put across the board?
If you a dad out there, understand that them kids come from you. Even though they with the mama, them kids come from you. So you gotta look. Don't be caught up in the lies to where you thinking that those are the mother's kids. They the mother's kids too, but they come through you. So put all your energy into raising your kids right. So because they carrying your bloodline, don't make the mistake of letting your kids be out here doing drugs or being susceptible to everything that everybody else doing. Let your kids be blessed and give them good game.
Damn right.
We need more black politicians.
Yes, sir.
From the hood.
Yes, sir. You, man. We need you. We need you. We need you up on the board, man. You know what I'm saying?
You got me anytime, bro. Now that I see you like that, I'll come anytime you call me.
Most definitely, man. Shout out to you, Fezo. Thanks for coming through again,
right.
bro.
Thank you, man.
You already know where to follow us at, man. Y'all follow Fezo the Great. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram platforms, YouTube, Fezo the Great TV. Y'all got the Down and Diligent podcast, man. Y'all gonna like, subscribe, man. We gonna keep coming with them. 102nd episode, we gonna keep pushing, man. Y'all stay down and diligent.
I'm down and diligent.